We're going to do something we don't normally do. We're going to double up on debt-free screams this hour because Lauren is with us here from New York and an extra special debt-free scream. Welcome. It's so good to have you.
Great to be here. Thanks.
We're honored to have you with us today. Thanks. I know you were supposed to come down Valentine's Day, but the old polar vortex kind of knocked you out.
Yeah, I got stranded.
And so we kind of rearranged things a little bit. So how much debt have you paid off?
It was just over $55,000.
And how long did it take you?
Took just under 5 years with a lot of delays.
Okay. And your income during that time?
It was anywhere from 43.7 to 71.
Okay. All right. To 71. All right. And you said you've been through quite a journey, hadn't you?
Yeah.
So tell us about it.
Well, this day was supposed to be shared with my husband, Mike. He passed away in October 2011 from leukemia. And his goal was always to become debt-free and come down here and do this scream together. So I wanted to make sure it happened.
How old was he when he passed?
He turned 40 on September 1st, and he passed on October 14th.
Okay. All right. Cool. So how long did he fight the leukemia?
It was about 8.5 years, on and off. He was diagnosed in early 2003. Went through chemo, radiation, bone marrow transplant, everything. Looked like a success, and he was fine for almost 3 years. And in the meantime, we got engaged and married and thought we were on our way to having cancer behind us.
And then it comes back.
And then in the fall of 2006, it came back, which was just a huge shock to us, to the doctors, everybody. And
wow.
yeah.
So this all started when he was 32, and
31,
so he beat it in a sense, and then it comes back.
Yeah,
and
he
then,
beat it many times, it seemed, and it came back.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So what kind of debt was the $55,000 that you guys were fighting against?
It was a car loan, 2 student loans, several credit cards, and lots of medical bills.
So you're going to do your debt-free scream because this was one of the things he wanted to do
Yeah.
in his honor and his memory. That's beautiful. That's pretty. But really, the debt-free scream just kind of seems like, yeah, so what? After all this other stuff, right?
Kind of, yeah, because and I shouldn't say this, but I'd be in debt forever if I could have him here. So.
Absolutely. No, you should say that.
Yeah.
And I would agree with you. Yeah, that would be a good trade.
It would absolutely be a good trade.
It's actually not a trade that's on the table and never
Right.
was, but
Right.
but it's one you would take, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So you guys were married for?
Just under 7 years.
Okay, all right. Wow. Well, you're brave to stand here on the radio and talk about this. I'd probably be crying. I'd probably just be boo-hooing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're strong, but
He was strong.
You've been fighting through all kinds of stuff, and that makes you strong, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I got it from him. He seemed to always be battling, coming from behind, and if he set his mind to something, he was going to do it.
And so he heard us on the radio in New York, or how did he hear about Dave Ramsey?
He kind of knew about you. He would hear it on the radio, and right after his first recurrence in 2006, he realized what a hole we were really in. We had a financial advisor tell us we were 1 or 2 paychecks away from disaster. And he went down to the beach one day, and he scrounged around on the floor of the car for any change he could get to get a coffee. And he went down to the beach, and he was just so mad and upset, and he said, "I will never leave my family exposed again." And from there, he was searching for a way out. And around that time, we went up to Maine. We visited our friends Jeff and Joelle, and they gave us your book. And he read it almost entirely on the drive back to Massachusetts. And the amazing thing was that he was actually driving. So
I followed that guy on the interstate. I know who he is. Yeah.
No, he was just lit up. He couldn't wait to start. So despite the fact that he was back in treatment, we did our best to get our snowball debts in order and to really get going with it.
But you still had some debt left when he passed, right?
I did. We were about, I think about $10,000 or $11,000 away when we were down to the car and a credit card. And it's funny that when he went in the hospital, either the last time or the time before, because he was in and out a lot that last year, despite the fear and frustration of being in the hospital again and not knowing what was going to happen, he said to me, we should have the car paid off by now, because he would be so mad that this was going to add to the medical bills and add to him being, on disability, where we would lose 40% of his income, for months at a time all those years. So he was still so focused on that. He really wanted to see it done.
And so he passed, and you finished up the last 10,000.
I did. He could never get life insurance, and of course, before he was first sick, he didn't think about it. He was a young man, always healthy.
Sure.
So all those years, and every time he got sick again, of course, that pushed it back. Forgetting life insurance, forget it. Yeah. So after he passed, I did get some life insurance from work, and we worked for the same company. And the first thing I did was pay off those last two debts and be done with them. Yeah. Which, of course, was bittersweet, and I never wanted to do it with that money.
No.
But either way, the job got done.
He's in heaven smiling when you hit that button and finish that last one. You know he was. Yeah. He's like, go, girl.
Yeah.
You know he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, you're amazing. You're a tough lady, and you've been through a lot.
And I want you to know that in the hospital, whenever he was in the hospital, we would listen to your show on the computer every day afternoon. He said, come on, it's time for Dave. And sometimes he'd fall asleep, nap, and wake up, but it was always on.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get to meet him someday. I look forward to that.
Me too.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Well, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Better than I was. I spent a long time in a very deep pit. Just a wreck, not believing this had actually happened. Not knowing how to possibly go on without him. This was never, ever the plan. So I'm better.
Yeah.
There'll always be a part of my heart broken.
Sure.
But I can
every
still be among the living and
Yeah.
start to enjoy things again.
Yeah. Every day that goes by, you can breathe again a little bit.
A little
more.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes it just catches you, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's the way it ought to be. You're working your way through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good. Well, I'm proud of you, and I'm honored that we were a tiny little part of an unbelievable story.
Thank you.
And the good news is you're set up, and you got a job, and you're making good money, and you don't have any debt.
All right.
And so in a very real way, he did take great care of you.
He really did. He did.
That's very neat.
And everyone get life insurance.
Yeah. Oh, amen.
It's so important.
Yeah. When you're 30 and you're,
Yeah.
you don't walk around without life insurance because, oh my gosh, you
Yeah.
just don't know.
Right.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, you're awesome. So Mike and Lauren from New York have paid off $55,000 in debt in 5 years, making 41, now 71,000 a year. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
All right. This is for you, Mikey. 3, 2, 1. We're debt free.
Wow! Unbelievable. Man. I can't talk. Unbelievable. Wow. Nah, you just don't get that anywhere else. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.